just preparing for this episode, I was looking through some different DMT studies or group analyses that could be interesting to jump into. And of course, as someone who's never done DMT, to me, the thing is like it's the entity psychedelic. Like this is the one where you see the entities. So my search geared towards that because I'm very curious about it. And there's a study from University of Greenwich called "An Encounter with the Other: A Thematic and Content Analysis of DMT Experiences from a Naturalistic Field Study." So this is kind of like a group of studies put together in an overarching analysis. And the abstract says that just an overview of the study. They took a bunch of studies of different people and essentially grouped the different type of entity experiences that people had or didn't have. They surveyed 2,561 participants who had used inhaled DMT, which I'm assuming is smoked DMT, crystal. And in this study, out of 2,561 people, 77% of respondents reported encountering autonomous entities during their most memorable DMT experience. And David Luke, the co-author from University of Greenwich Psychedelic Research Center, said, quote, there's a wide degree of diversity of these entities, but also some recurrent themes that tend to pop up more than would seem purely random. Among the most common are, quote, little people, be they elves, dwarves, or pixies. And there are other studies in which incorporate different psychedelics like LSD and mushrooms. And there's a study at Johns Hopkins where 40% of people on mushrooms encountered beings, but it's still, 70% and 40% is still a long way off. And so it seems like there's such a great connective tissue through the shared experience of DMT where such a high number of people are 77% is crazy. Like 10% would be crazy. 10% and 77% is, pretty outrageous. Wh- I'm curious like where you think these collective experiences emanate from? Or do you think there's something in our neurochemistry that's being uniquely activated by the DMT that's arousing these entity visions? Do you think it's something specific to the DMT itself? I'm just curious, like where you think these shared entity, visions are. You think they might be coming from?
I think it's a combination of culture and the time we're in, and then the individual human experiences as well. 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, it was all angels and demons and things to do with the Catholic Church. Now you hear a lot about aliens and UFOs and interdimensional beings, and I think that's going to tint or shade kind of how people talk about it, which is why again the terms machine elves and jesters are pretty common. But again, I think it's the overall flavor and feel of it all that I know through my own experience. You could be like, oh, I could see where that would be demonic, that would be angelic. I could see where that would be a friendly guiding help, or that would be a
Mm,
manipulative kind of whatever. So again, I think those storylines play out through human experience as you study human history. But there is, I said that there are really distinct groups. And me, I mentioned how I was an entomologist. So when I hear people talk about these insectoid beings and the mantis beings, and even
yeah.
my girlfriend who's explored DMT and shrooms quite a bit, she said quite a few profound interactions with mantis beings, and really it's something that's shaken her quite a bit. Uh, so not to say that because I studied bugs, I can talk about DMT entities like that, but I can see how they would say that that's insectoid, and how it's so instead of the typically tinier, once again, pixel elf jester, fun, come and show you type energy. These are more mechanical. They're typically bigger in size or stature. They take up certainly more of the physical space. And in my interactions with, and I've had several. they seem to be the technicians in that space. They tell you how to actually use your body. I've had two, I think, in particular, where there was one where it was almost like a transformer suit, where this being kind of clamped onto my body in that space and was like, "All right, I'm going to show you actually how to use your human body the way it should. So this is how you can pump blood. This is how you can move oxygen through your body. This is how the electrical pulses can go from here to there." And it was this really cool experience of this is what it feels like to to use your body how it's really maxed out with all of its senses. And then I had another one kind of similar where it showed me how to use, in essence, my body as a tool or as an instrument to play and read on the vibrations that were coming through and around me. And it was
Mm,
such an awesome experience to have your body taken over by this other energy or entity, but not in a malicious bad way, to be like, listen, we're just gonna show you this is how you can, this is you running at a level of 100, not a level of 10. This is you with all of your senses maxed out, not just your five ones in the 3D space. And uh, those experiences are similar from what I've heard from my own friends and family, but again, kind of similar to what you've read through historical and religious texts too, of these interactions with angels or beings that showed you the light, enlightened you, correct?
yeah.
Like would erased your sins. Like I mean, all of these kind of happenings.